Hi, and welcome back to Cook. So, for this episode, which is episode 4, we're going to be talking about movies, celebrities, and everything about that. So, I thought it would be nice to start off with some of our childhood experiences with movies. So let me start first. For me, it was, all about the Disney movies, all about the Pixar movies, all of that, right?
Yeah.
And I remember especially I'd be obsessed with all of the Disney princess movies. And I was obsessed with I think Tinkerbell for like quite a while, and then I grew out of it. How about you guys?
Yeah, as a kid, I watched a lot of Disney movies, Pixar movies, and I also watched a lot of Studio Ghibli movies. Ghibli, I don't know how you pronounce
Oh my
it.
gosh, yeah. I
Studio
said Ghibli,
Ghibli
but
movies
yeah.
are crazy. I mean, they're not just for kids. I feel like it's
It's
the
for a wide
audience.
range of audiences,
Yeah,
definitely. Like
if
the
you're,
art style is really nice.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it uses the anime style, but the storyline itself is like really good. Like they have really good storylines, and I think a lot of their movies have won Oscars too. I mean, like it's a really it's a nice studio. They produce a lot of really nice movies.
Wait, what is
Actually,
popular from Studio?
Spirited Away is
Yeah.
very popular. Spirited
Oh,
Away.
Yeah.
Have you seen like images, the red bathhouse, the really tall
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally my MacBook wallpaper right now. Like the ducks bathing in the
Yeah,
bathhouse.
bro, it's so cute. Yeah. And
Yeah.
actually, I was watching this thing. So what makes that movie so unique, like the movies from Studio Ghibli so unique is like, so this is like an interview with like the creator, like the director and stuff. And he was saying like the reason why ours is like more unique is because it mimics, like at the same time, it mimics like real human emotion. Like it feels real, but then it feels mystical at the same time. You get what I
that's
mean? Like
interesting.
the human emotions and actions, although they seem more real, but then like all the scenery around it is all mysterious. So like that's what makes it more engaging and nice. So yeah, I think that's what drew me towards it. Like I really like the character animations and stuff.
And I've heard that the all of the movies were like, I mean, I don't know if that still happens, but initially they were all like hand drawn, I think. By
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
they were all
wow.
they made use of like cells. So like you individually drew each frame, and yeah, that's how they
oh
used
my
to make
gosh.
movies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dedication that must have taken.
How about you, Mukti? With your movies?
For me, I was also introduced to like child movies when I first started watching movies, like those Disney movies and like those other like Disney Pixar movies. I remember like one of my favorites, like all time favorites was Up. I mean, it's so sad, but it's honestly one of my
Oh,
favorite
that's
movies.
iconic. That's iconic.
And then
Oh, Toy Story as well. I love Toy
yeah,
Story.
Toy Story, how could I forget? And then I used to watch even like Inside Out. I'm pretty sure the new movie's coming out soon on like I think in June
Yeah,
or
Inside
something,
Out
right?
2 is coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
I'm so excited for that. It's gonna be so good. Yeah, that was like my first introduction to movies. I just started off with animated movies and I just went on from there. So I wanted to talk more about like the progression of movies, like in general, how they were back in like the 2000s and how they've become now. I mean, we don't see as like animated movies anymore, right? You see like more
Mhm.
like
Too many.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah, I think we slowly progress towards I mean like, just from my personal experience, I mean, yeah, I started off watching animated movies and I slowly, drifted towards watching, real life real life actors. So IRL movies. So I think the first like IRL movie that I watched was probably I think it was a kids movie. I mean, yeah, I think it was like Honey I Shrunk the Kids or something, like a really old movie. Like it was like
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was a 2000s movie. And I think, like when I was like 10 or something, when I, started getting into Hollywood and all that, the movie I watched was Mean Girls, right? I mean, y'all must have like definitely watched that. Like, that's an
Definitely,
iconic
definitely.
movie.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
one
I
of the
think
most
Mean
iconic
Girls
movies.
introduced me to, Hollywood. And that's when I started watching, rom-coms and like everything.
Same, same.
Yeah.
Mean Girls had a big effect on me. I mean, that's how I also got introduced to Hollywood. It's one of the most like popular movies. It's just like completely changed the times of 2000s in general.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Mean Girls introduced the, just that, they were like the template plot for like, High School Musical. I feel like,
Yeah.
High School Musical was
High School
definitely inspired
Musical.
by.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, High
That
School
was a
Musical, yeah.
big. It had a really big influence on stuff. I
Yeah,
mean, it
Disney
shows how much of an
yeah,
influence movies and
yeah,
stuff have on pop culture.
And especially with High School Musical, like that came out. I think the first one came out in like 2006 or something. But it's been it's like changed the entire like demeanor and like the whole dynamic of movies in general. Like that's what set it to the path that it's on, like that it was on at that point in time. So yeah, and especially having so many sequels of High School Musical, it just like further enhanced that whole dynamic.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So we have a lot of like, high school movies these days. I mean, even in like this generation, we've been, seeing a lot of high school movies, getting, just it's just there. But like, it really doesn't match the essence of, Mean Girls of High School Musical. I feel like we don't see that anymore these days.
No,
Mhm.
definitely.
That's a real shame, but I mean that was like the golden times when getting introduced to movies. I think for me like a proper like real life movie like rather than animated movie, the first one I got introduced to was you guys know Diary of the Wimpy Kid, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They had
Yeah.
this movie. It's not the animated one.
Yeah.
The actual like like the real life one.
I
So
didn't know there
yeah.
was a movie like for like
There
real life.
was, I
There-
don't remember. That was the
there is,
first
yeah.
movie that came out, and then they released
Yeah.
one that was animated.
Yeah, I think that was like
Wow.
very recent. It isn't that good. I like the IRL movies more,
Yeah,
like
the
the
IRL
actual
movie
movies.
was
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I got introduced to that, and then slowly, as it's the same like as you, Shika. Like I got introduced to like Mean Girls and then the High School Musical, and all of that, and then I got into Hollywood like that.
Oh,
So yeah.
that's
I
pretty
mean,
interesting. Now
Yeah.
that you say that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like talking about High School Musical, I feel like Disney movies were like their own thing. Like apart from the animated movies, the ones directed towards teens. I remember like turning on Disney Channel. I don't know if you guys ever watched the teen version of Disney Channel. It was on cable, and they used to sometimes stream these Disney movies like Camp Rock and
Oh my god,
Uh,
Camp Rock.
yeah, Camp Rock and
So iconic.
yeah, those
Oh,
women
iconic.
yeah,
As Sushi was talking about like how Shika was talking about like how the Disney movies right now or like the movies that have come out right now, they don't have the same essence that 2000s movies did have.
Not
That
the same
brings me-
spark.
yeah,
Yeah.
And that brings me to like the whole point of like how storylines have changed as movies have progressed as well. Like the way that storylines have been made now, especially in like the Hollywood industry, it's completely different from what it was before.
yeah. I definitely agree. Like we've progressed a lot. I mean, I feel like okay. So specific to this, I think those like OG rom-coms like 10 Things I Hate About You, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those OG rom-coms that were like, produced back in like 1990s. We don't have that stuff anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, but I've seen like a lot of directors that have been, creating these type of movies. I saw that with Anyone But You, the Sydney Sweeney movie
Yeah.
that he
Yeah, yeah.
and it was good. I mean, yeah, it matched the essence, I think. But yeah. Yeah, and the Idea of You as well, the one Anne Hathaway was in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like compare Anne Hathaway's like old movies to like how they are right now. They're so
Exactly.
different. I think she did that Princess Diaries a whole series. right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Princess Diaries was so iconic. I mean, that was like one of my favorite movies. I think it's
Same,
the
yeah.
level of, like same level as like Mean Girls.
Mhm.
And then there was also I don't know if you all like watched this movie that was pretty popular, The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
Yes,
That is
yes,
true. Yeah.
So iconic. I think she was also in that movie.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway was in the. I think
Yeah,
that was
she
the
was.
first-
She was.
That was the first Anne Hathaway movie I ever saw. I think
Really?
The Devil Wears Prada. Yeah,
Wow.
I watched it with my mom. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely been a big progression with storylines, and I think that also as actors get older, as the industry gets older, there's definitely going to be a progression with the style of movies and the storylines. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I mean, as actors like just get older in general, they would be changing the roles that they want to play. It's
Yeah.
just growing up in general. Yeah.
Yeah, and even I mean, we might be talking about like the change in storylines, but I mean, it could also just be because like as we get older, we regard certain things as like, oh, we're too old for that, and then we go on to newer things. So it's a very flexible industry, I guess, like the movie industry. And I think there's also like as we talk about differences in storylines, I think we should also talk about the differences in storylines between different industries. So for example, like the Bollywood industry versus, Hollywood.
Yeah. I mean, I have so much on that. The Bollywood industry, their storylines, it's always like this particular storyline. They just like keep on recycling in different ways or like in different manners.
Yeah,
Like one
definitely.
hero, one heroine, and then it's just like they fall in love and then there's some extra
Yeah,
drama
like the
attached to that.
damsel in distress and everything. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like always the same storyline, just recycled. But now I see that they're changing and stuff. But with Hollywood, see, I feel like the Hollywood's essence, it's so different compared to Bollywood. I mean, their essence is just like completely different. They do have a new storyline each time. And like, when you get into a Hollywood movie, you would probably realize that, okay, yeah, this is something new that I'm about to watch. It's not going to be the same.
Yeah, it's
over
not
and
gonna
over
be.
again.
Yeah, it's not gonna be
Mhm.
the same recycled storyline.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think you can definitely say like Bollywood movies are a bit more predictable because you have that definite structure, I guess, to
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, it is changing now. We're getting more unique movies, so I guess that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, like, movies themselves are like very versatile. I mean, yeah, if you compare the Hollywood and not just Bollywood, I think just the entirety of India, like if you look at Hollywood, Tollywood, sorry, I meant Bollywood and Tollywood. Yeah, they have that same, just that same like cookie cutter plot storyline. But I mean, I don't really see that, happening with the Tollywood industry because I feel like a lot of the, Indian audience, they like that. I mean, ever since, I think Sholay, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Sholay. Like,
Sholay. Oh my
Sholay, definitely, definitely.
yeah,
Sholay is so iconic.
it's iconic, yeah. And I think that's when this plot was initially introduced, and people just really love that storyline, and that's why a lot of a lot of movies have adapted to the same storyline. But yeah, like you were saying, I mean, I've seen a lot of Bollywood movies. They've been very unique with their storylines. I mean, especially with Hira Mandi, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, definitely. That's
I mean, Hiramani is like much more recent right now, but
Yeah.
because it's a Sanjay Leela Bhansali film, it's I mean, sorry, Sanjay Leela Bhansali series. There,
Mhm.
like his direction, it completely deviates from the usual Bollywood scene that there is because like his films are like so like they're completely different. Like if you look at Gangubai, I mean, it's so
Mhm.
popular and like the way that
Exactly.
Alia Bhatt
yeah,
acts and everything. It's
yes,
not
yeah.
like your conventional, like your conventional film as it is.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then you had, I think he also directed Bajirao Mastani, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So all of his movies are like set in like those like 1800s or something, and then it's all like
Mhm.
kings and queens and like all this royal stuff.
Mhm.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like not the usual dynamic that Bollywood follows. Whereas if you like
Yeah.
compare like Karan Johar films to Sanjay Leela Bhansali films, they're like
Yeah.
it's like a day and night difference.
Exactly. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, see, Sanjay Leela Bhansali, like one thing I see that is common with all of his movies is that they have very, strong female leads, I think.
Yeah.
Especially with Meera Mandi. Like the entire
Yeah,
I
I
think, the entire
definitely
cast
with that.
of-
I can agree with that.
Yeah, they have I mean, even I think Padmavat, it kind of did follow, that cookie cutter like plot.
Mm.
Like, yeah, it was there. But like, yeah, Deepika Padukone itself, like her character, was a very, strong female lead, I think. That's very common with a lot of his movies. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, and you were talking about current, Dharma Productions and all that. Honestly, like I
Yeah.
kind of do like his like old movies, like those Student of the Year. I mean, yeah, I mean OG movies. I mean, I understand nepotism and all, but like by themselves, they are really good movies. Like OG Bollywood. I think I definitely like enjoy that.
But honestly, it's fun. I mean, it's entertaining, and that's what matters.
Yeah,
You know, that's the whole point
yeah,
of movies. It's just to be entertaining. You just have to have a laugh.
Yeah,
Or,
exactly. Just to be
yeah,
entertaining. Even if it's the same like plot, it should still, attract some audience.
yeah. I mean, when
Mhm.
like I wanna talk more about like the Karan Johar like whole thing, and like if you look at like the new movie that he came out with, Rocky or Rani, that whole
Mhm.
message that the movie portrays is completely different from how his
Yeah.
other films have been, because there's a message that's you can like see throughout the film. So I feel like that's completely
Mhm.
different from any other film that Karan Johar has actually made before. So
Yeah,
and I want to talk like
Definitely.
more about like how award shows have like worked in Hollywood and Bollywood.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like
definitely. The differences.
there's been like a lot of differences in award show different like in award shows in like Hollywood or Bollywood. I
Mhm.
mean, for me, I think the most major difference, I don't know about y'all, I mean, I've seen is it's much more dramatic or like dramatized in Bollywood award shows rather than Hollywood award shows. So it's like more cutthroat in that sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of Hollywood, like if you were to talk about the Oscars, I feel like, recently, like I don't know if you're familiar with like that one time, like that you I don't know, it was like pretty recent. There was this like dog that was like clapping. I mean, yeah, that was like fun, I think. They've been like trying to make the Oscars more entertaining these days. The Oscars themselves are like it's a very iconic show, I think. And a lot of stuff has happened, during the Oscars. I feel like that, when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, that was like an iconic moment. I mean, yeah, there's been a lot of iconic moments. Like,
The Oscars are like
yeah,
on a different level altogether. So
exactly. Yeah. And I like the fact that America, yeah, if you're gonna talk about the Hollywood industry, they don't have like a ton of shows like, India does. We have, I don't even know, we probably have like 10 different, shows like this. I don't even know the names
yeah.
of any of them. And they only have maybe the Emmys, I guess. Yeah, if you were to consider the Emmys and like the Oscars, those are the two most iconic shows. And yeah, that's one thing I find that is, quite different.
Yeah. While like Bollywood has like 10,000 different shows just for, like
Exactly. It's so
awards.
hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have like that straight like whole thing where the whole drama again, like where they hold on for like 2 seconds before they try to announce the award to like
Yeah.
increase the drama or like increase the suspense for no apparent reason.
So stupid. Yeah. The ad break before everything is so annoying.
Also about the whole like songs in Hollywood movies versus songs in like Bollywood movies, you barely see any songs in Hollywood movies. They're more focused on the storyline itself.
Yeah, there's a big difference with that.
Bollywood movies, every 2 seconds there's gonna be a song. Like no chance, no
Mhm.
chance.
Exactly. Yeah. All Indian
Every
movies are
season,
planned.
exactly, and the songs are like really over the top and really vibrant, I guess. So there's definitely a big difference with songs for that.
I mean, America has their own separate, genre of movies. I mean, if you're gonna talk about music, they call it musicals,
Yeah.
right? So it's a whole separate
Yeah,
industry. Like,
yeah.
they have Broadway, like that's a like whole different thing to talk about. So I mean, I feel like, if you were to define like an Indian movie, it would definitely be a musical. I mean, like if you were gonna, tell anyone about an Indian
Yeah.
movie, you wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, music is like it's a very big component when you talk about like Indian movies by themselves.
Yeah. It's like the core of Indian movies sometimes. Especially
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about y'all. I'm seeing more. I don't know if there's like a big difference, but I don't know if I'm feeling or if it's actually true. I saw a lot of songs just in like
Yeah,
back in
definitely
the
songs
day.
from those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it a lot more back in the day, like maybe in the 90s or like the 80s or something. But now it's sort of decreasing. It's not as much as it used to be, because like if you look at like those iconic Hindi movies that used to come up, you'd always see a song in like every, I don't know, maybe every 15 minutes at least. But now I feel like there's
Exactly.
max probably
I don't think it's just you. Even I've noticed, like with Tollywood and Bollywood movies, even I've like noticed like the change. There's been, I think, fewer songs and
Yeah.
stuff.
definitely. And then where I mean, see, songs really depend on like the whole mood of the movie, I believe. Because like some movies, even in Bollywood, very few of them, they don't even have one song. Because like they want like the whole movie to be focused on the message itself rather than just to focus on like the whole dance number and all that.
Definitely.
But it
Yeah.
definitely depends on
yeah.
the mood of the movie.
Exactly. I mean, if you were to make a movie, like if you were to think about like Interstellar, it's a very sentimental movie. You can't just have like
Yeah.
a dance break in the middle, like that. Just
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So it completely makes sense. Yeah.
And I think like we see a lot of like, especially with Bollywood movies, and Tollywood, I think you see like lots of like songs from these movies going viral as well.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about the Tollywood industry, like if you're okay, so take for example Pushpa 2. So the
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, the only way to market, I mean not the only way, but like I guess the
One
main
of
way
the
to
main,
market
yeah.
the movie is like it's via the music, right? So Pushpa 2 is like getting really
Exactly.
popular with the music. So like yeah, the first thing that like a movie does when they are planning to release a movie is release the music first. They release like music teasers
Yeah.
and apart
Yeah,
from
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, music is like a big thing in movies in general because that's what like grabs the viewer's attention. Because like, oh
Exactly.
yeah, they say, oh yeah, that song sounds good. Maybe I'll watch the movie. I mean, that's for me at least. I'd probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do that as well.
Yeah. I really want to talk about like casting differences. How
Mhm.
casting has like really, yeah, like the different
Okay, yeah,
casting,
yeah.
in like different industries. I mean, not only just in Hollywood. I mean, between Hollywood and Bollywood, like there's a lot of differences in casting. So I mean in general, like how nepotism works or like how nepotism enhances casting in movies.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think nepotism is very common in, Bollywood, especially if you were to consider Dharma Productions. Karan Johar, like he's literally branded as the like king of nepotism, I think, because all of his I mean, except like Liger, I guess, except that like one Vijay Deverakonda movie, all of his movies are, they're all starring nepo babies, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
If you were to compare that with like Hollywood movies, so like one thing that is, common with, I guess, most like 90% of Hollywood movies is that casting is completely like an audition system. Okay. It completely happens via audition. So like it's purely talent based. Whereas in India, if you were to talk about nepotism, that's just, oh, you're born to like a celebrity, or sure, like you can do this for like launch your career. But
Yeah.
no, that's not the case with like Hollywood. Like it's completely talent based, which is why I like the Hollywood industry, like in terms of casting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and then I also want to elaborate on this. It's also the fact that a big example of this whole nepotism act is Archie's. I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, when you look at Shah Rukh Khan as an actor itself, you can see how much talent he has and like how much he's impacted the industry as a whole. He's one of the most popular Bollywood actors. And then you look at Suhana Khan, who's like not as it's I'm not blaming her or anything. It's like her first her first acting gig. But of course, she's not going to be on the same level as Shah Rukh Khan because she's not
Yeah,
done this
yeah.
before. But the amount of
Definitely.
expectations that people put on her because she's Shah Rukh Khan's kid is insane. But
Exactly.
yeah, it's all about like
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, you
Yeah.
know, to just expect the exact same thing
Yeah, exactly.
from just because they're like a relative or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, that's definitely a bit of a problem within the industry, I think.
Definitely, yeah. Nepotism could just be its own like separate episode, but it plays like a very vital role if you're talking about the casting system. I think, yeah, nepotism is very common in Tollywood as well. I think if you
Yeah.
Chiranjeevi, for example, literally Anu Arjun is related to Chiranjeevi. That's why he has like such a big fan base, such a big. That's what essentially launched his career, and yeah, practically everyone in the Tollywood industry is somewhat related to each other. So you can clearly see the nepotism that's happening in the Tollywood industry. It's very common, and people honestly don't even care. They don't mind because they the only thing they want is good quality content.
Entertainment, yeah. All you want is, to be entertained. So
Yeah.
yeah. No, well, it might be a problem with the casting system. I mean, if it works, then it works,
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say more about like how casting system also differs in the way like it depends on like the actress's like age, but then it comes to the whole it comes back to the whole fact that some actors and like actresses, they, even though like they will be casted as an older role because of their age, maybe they're like 50 or 60, they'd be probably casted as like a mother or father, but because they get like surgeries done to themselves to look younger so that they can be in their prime again. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's a big thing. That's how like casting also differs in this whole area as well. And then I don't know, I feel like Bollywood and casting, maybe like skin colors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
colorism.
Yeah.
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 That's definitely
Casting
definitely
and skin color
apparent.
is just, it plays a role. Definitely plays a role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's more prominent in India because I mean not just movies. Like if you were gonna talk about like ads, like you have Fair and Lovely ads.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's
You have
there's big influences with
yeah,
that.
it's I mean yeah, it's like movie stars like Priyanka Chopra and like that one I don't know some Hindi actor like she was promoting Fair and Lovely and I think same thing with Ranveer Singh, he was promoting Handsome and I don't know the male version of Fair and Lovely. So yeah, they really promote.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's a movie thing. I think that's just like an Indian thing. Like it's very colorism is like a huge problem here, and yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely.
There's
like,
a lot to talk about that. That in itself could be a completely different topic.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to go on to like we've been talking about like things having an influence on the movie industry having influences on things, and I wanted to go on to like the rise of popular celebrities and like how they've influenced us. So I mean, there's a lot of influences from the movie industry. Like you might have changes in fashion trends, changes in beauty standards as well with movies. And I mean also certain products, like if you have ads with like a celebrity, then I mean it's likely to that product that you're advertising is likely to get more sales. So I think it just shows how much of an influence like these celebrities have, especially movie actors.
And also like the whole thing that Sue was talking about in terms of like rise of popular celebrities and like the trends that they have made. I mean, it's pretty common now because you see celebrities on TV just wearing these like different clothes or like trying out like different makeup looks. It's bound to become a trend, It's
Yeah.
it's gonna influence people. It's gonna influence the whole like industry and like
Exactly, yeah. I think like a good example of this would again be Mean Girls. Because I mean, yeah, if you were to like, analyze Regina George's like clothes, I feel like, Y2K itself was I mean Regina George's, closet, I feel like played like such a big role in, Y2K, in the
Yeah.
Y2K theme, I guess. I mean, yeah, a lot of, current Gen Z outfits are very inspired by, just the Mean Girls aesthetic, I think. That's
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
I just want to support your thought. Yeah.
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 mean-
And I think
I was gonna say like Regina George. I feel like some people would agree that she was the definition of Y2K, like the 2000s.
Exactly.
Yeah, and also, we were talking about like the influences on clothes and stuff. And I mean, if you pair that with social media now as well, like you have all of these fashion trends circulating very quickly. And I think you can also think of it like the other way around. Like if you have a certain trend catching on in social media, you might find like movies that try to mimic that as well, to like stay trendy. I don't know.
You were talking about like how social media like really affected, movies and everything. I feel like it's very prominent with like the new Mean Girls remake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel there was this whole like thing that happened when the movie wasn't even released yet. They were just like releasing like snippets, like just photos from the set. And I think a lot of Rene Rapp's outfits were very, inspired by the current generation's, I guess, fashion styles or like whatever. People were like, oh, she's like practically like wearing Shein's closet. Like all of her clothes were like inspired by Shein and like fast fashion. Like typical H&M, typical Shein, Zara.
Oh,
clothes.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like some movies have been really using social media as a way, to make the movies more, marketed towards the current generation, I think. Yeah, social media,
Yeah.
it plays a very vital role.
Yeah, so you could have movies creating trends, or you can have, movies being inspired by those trends. So, I mean, they both go hand in hand, really.
Definitely, yeah.
It goes both ways, honestly. I wanted to talk more about like how actors have like changed the way that they've appeared in roles as like the years have gone by, especially Zendaya in particular. Like she's a child actor, like she was a child actor.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like how
Yeah.
her progression in the industry itself, it's been like pretty like interesting to see.
Yeah, I remember like when Zendaya started off as like a Disney kid. Like she was in Casey Undercover. I remember watching all of her Casey Undercover. Like I used to watch all of her episodes. I clearly remember like how the conversion that happened when she moved towards making. I think the conversion happened when she started working on Euphoria. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like I
Yeah,
think it
that was, I think so, yeah.
I think
yeah, maybe I don't know. I think it's Euphoria. I think ever since Euphoria, Zendaya has been like really she's making a lot of non Disney movies. I guess just like sticking, just not make. She just like ended the contract with Disney, and she's like she's doing her own thing now. I think especially with like Challengers as well. Her, recent movie. It's a very I guess sentimental and like very more adult. Basically A-rated movies. I guess. Yeah.
I mean, that's like a big progression from like making a child, like making appearances like child series to making like animated film. That is a big
Exactly.
jump. You also have like singers who've made appearances in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, like y'all know like Sabrina Carpenter, right?
Yeah.
Like
Sabrina Carpenter.
she
Yeah,
first
yeah.
started her whole career as like a child actor on Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And now she's just gone into like making more like music and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's very common with a lot of Disney actors. Like they make movies, but on the side they make music as well. I think Hannah Montana is like a really good example of that.
Yeah,
Because
that's a good example. Yeah.
yeah, Hannah Montana, like it was like a whole like separate series. But like apart from that, the music that she made, like that was made for the series, were released as like whole separate albums, and she had concerts where she acted out as Hannah Montana as well, I think. So yeah, not just Hannah Montana. You see them with like Selena Gomez and even Zendaya. Zendaya actually had like a very short-term music career while working on her Disney projects as well. I feel like yeah, even
Really?
yeah, Camp Rock, and she made music on the side.
I mean, a big like part of this, or like a big example of this is Ariana Grande when she appeared on Victorious.
Yeah.
Originally sang all the songs on Victorious and everything, as like Cat Valentine, and then that basically kickstarted her career. So as like a musician, but now she's going back into like those like her roots of like acting and everything with like Wicked, the musical coming up soon. So yeah. I mean, I feel like movies really when they, when like singers or like they give a lot of priority to like singers because it would really boost their career in general, and then like probably give like the director or like give like the casting, like the cast itself more exposure because they're going to be like acting
Exactly,
with
you're going to
famous
tackle a
singers.
wider range of audience
Yeah.
as well. So it's
Definitely.
great for marketing if you have like singers and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like movies really look at that, especially now. Like they want to cast more singers and stuff like that. Again, it all comes back to again this Mean Girls 2. Renee Rapp is originally a singer, but because of being like on the whole bandwagon of like Mean Girls, her career gets launched along the way.
Yeah, I see a lot of singers just working on movies. Like I think Megan Thee Stallion also. She was in a musical. Yeah, I feel like a lot of these. Yeah, she
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it was like an A24 movie. I don't know. She was in a musical, and I think y'all remember this. Like Camila Cabello. It was in Cinderella again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, most like actors just they just like work on musicals because that's what they're known for.
exactly. Yeah, I don't know if it's a marketing strategy or if they're just doing it for fun, but like, yeah, that's
It
like,
works.
I guess
I
yeah.
mean, it's not just with singers as well. Like you have like TikTok stars making movies. Like the Addison Friends. She made a
All
movie.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what that was. That
Yeah.
was such a bad movie. I personally did not like it. I don't know. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
with a
that-
marketing strategy or whatever. I mean, they had the Kardashian in the movie. I don't know if this was like a serious movie or they were just doing it for fun or like whatever. I don't know.
Doing it for fun. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the movie was. I mean, yeah. I think the movie. I think it's called. She's all
He's
that.
all that. It's
Yeah.
all that. Yeah.
Yeah, She's All That was the like original movie,
Yeah.
and I guess this was like a sequel, but like with the roles reversed or something.
Mhm.
I don't know. I didn't like it, but yeah, sure. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
TikTokers have been getting they have like they're in a lot of movies these days, and personally, not all of their movies are nice. Okay, I just don't find it good.
Yeah. So I think we should talk about like the differences in roles as well. Like especially like if we talk about women's roles in like Bollywood and Hollywood. I think we already touched upon this before a bit, but I think we should elaborate on it more because there's been some progression with those as well.
In terms of like women roles, it's been pretty different in that whole like scenario. I mean, I've always seen like Hollywood portray women roles as more. I feel like they give it more importance in Hollywood movies, while you just see like women roles being portrayed as just the heroine in like Bollywood movies rather than Hollywood.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like Hollywood gives it more importance in general than
Yeah.
Bollywood does. But
To like the roles in
Definitely.
Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to talk about like The Devil Wears Prada again. I mean, if you watch the movie, it's not a stereotypical movie. Like it has definitely has a strong female role, I think. But like one more thing within the movie is that okay, so the thing is, it's generally people generally think that like the women belong at the kitchen, like homemakers, like or whatever, and the guys, their sole purpose is the bread feeders of the family or like whatever. Okay, so that's what was originally like thought and what a lot of us resonate with. But The Devil Wears Prada was the complete opposite. I feel like that's the first time a movie has, I mean, for its generation, I think it really stood out. That specific movie really stood out because okay, so Anne Hathaway was playing hold on, did I get the movie wrong? Oh shit, I
no,
got
it's
the
correct. Yeah.
no, I was talking, the other one where the guy is not this one, it was like a different movie.
Devil Wears Prada, right?
No, it wasn't.
Did it?
This was
What?
it was some other movie, like this old guy. He was
What? What?
Which
no,
one?
the one where Anne Hathaway, like she has her own the intern.
That's
No,
Devil Wears Prada.
no, Ray, the intern is its own separate movie. Like the movie is
What?
the
What
intern.
movie?
What?
The intern. Oh,
The
that one.
movie intern.
Okay.
I was talking about the
Oh.
intern.
Oh.
My bad. Cut that out.
Don't cut that out.
I feel like we shouldn't cut that out. I feel like we should.
I got the movie wrong. Shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's okay.
but my bad. I was referring to the intern. So in the movie, Anne Hathaway stars as like this businesswoman. Like she has her own startup. She's like the CEO of the company, and her husband doesn't work. Like he's a house husband, I guess. Yeah.
House husband.
Yeah, house
Okay.
husband. And it really, it's not about feminism. Like it talks about, the equality of genders. I think it's more of, it's not really, feminist. It's there it I think it sends out a role that we should treat each every gender equally. Just like don't value one thing above the other or like whatever. You don't
have
see
these nice-
movies where they empower men. It's all feminism. Even with like Barbie, I think, I don't know if it was like a feminist movie, but like I don't know. I mean, I probably shouldn't talk about it because sensitive topics and everything. But yeah, feminism and all that, like it wasn't a thing with the intern. Like it was like more about like empowering men, or like rather balancing both genders.
Equality. Yeah, yeah.
Equality in
equality.
general.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's you can definitely say that more like of these sensitive topics are coming up in movies, and Actually, you were talking about like empowerment and stuff. I feel like definitely these powerful messages are coming across because of like the heavy influence of movies. Like for example, I think you know that so I think you have some like movie actors, you know, speech that Angelina Jolie gave. So with that speech she gave about like poverty and stuff like that, I think with movie actors giving those speeches, you know, it really spreads the message. So I think that's nice.
Yeah,
It's a good way
definitely.
to like spread a message, and yeah.
But I feel like there's been a lot of progression in general between like women roles, especially in
Yeah.
like the Bollywood industry. I only want to like talk about. I don't know if you all have watched this like recent film that came out in Bollywood. I think it's on Netflix. It's called Lapata Ladies. The whole
Yeah.
message
Yeah.
itself has like it's really like more about how the whole dynamic of women like changed over the years, and what the difference has been, you know, like over the years. But Lapata Ladies was a pretty good movie. It like highlighted the differences that were there in the olden days versus how they are right now. I remember like this pretty popular dialogue in the movie. I mean, I think like the woman was saying that you can't, I would never take my husband's name. But now when you see that in like this case, it's completely different. So yeah, I think like the progression of movies and like even Bollywood, they've made women roles more empowering in general. Again, like also Rocky or Rani, it's
Yeah.
been it was a pretty like
Yeah.
like feminist you know, like feminist like focused role, but it also showed equality in general. So yeah, it still conveyed that
Definitely.
message. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, yeah, messages like these, they have been, you know, recently being showing up in like a lot of, you know, recent movies, I think. And I think there was like this one movie by Deepika Padukone. I mean, I think it was released like 2 years ago or something. It's called Geherayan. I don't know. I
Yeah,
haven't like seen.
Gehraiyan. Yeah, Gehraiyan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry if I'm like mispronouncing it, but yeah, I think that movie was mainly about like mental health and all that, and yeah, it mentioned a lot of sensitive topics, but I mean it wasn't very well received in terms of, you know, talking about the Indian audience. I think the rating for the movie is like around a
Yeah, that
510.
Yeah, it's
So
500.
yeah, with sensitive topics like these type of movies, they haven't really. I mean, yeah, they haven't been, you know, well received by the Indian audience because we aren't, I guess, adapted to these kind of movies. We don't get these type of movies regularly, right?
there's more expectation for like, as we said before, you know, the cookie cutter you know, scenarios and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So these type of movies have not been, you know, doing very well. But I think, okay, so there was this movie by Ananya Parne called Koge Hum Kahan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely different. It was, I think, again, strong female role. It was like a story about like three people where the main
Yeah.
character was Ananya Pandey. I mean, yeah, the movie revolved around her, and I think it was a very, you know, nice Gen Z movie. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people our age, I guess, you know, resonated with that movie because
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah, completely different from, you know, an average Karan Johar. Was it a Karan Johar movie? I'm not sure.
I think it was. I think it was a Karan Johar movie. But
Okay, I
yeah, I
mean,
see. Yeah.
yeah, compare
Yeah.
if you were to compare it with like, you know, Karan Johar's old movies, yeah, completely different. And I think it was well received by the audience as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
it
and
was
I
not
think
directed by Karan Johar. It was directed by Arjun Singh. So that's not.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow,
So.
okay.
Mhm. But I agree again with the whole the fact that like again coming back to Kho Ke Hum Kahan, that whole dynamic of that movie was completely different, and it was more resonated towards like it was more directed towards Gen Z because of the whole storyline and like whole the whole like topic of like social media, because that's what it revolved around. But yeah, I feel like what comes back to what like Shikha said before, we are more, you know, like we're more adapted to the whole like, cookie cutter the way that films are made in that way, but we
Yeah.
are not more like we're not like as exposed to these type of films. I feel like it'll take time for Bollywood to get used to these type of films, but I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
they are growing rapidly in general. I
Mhm.
also want to talk about like that one film. It released a couple of years ago. I don't know if you all watched it. It was called Dear Zindagi.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
again
Yeah.
more about like mental health and stuff like that, and like Alia Bhatt's role and Shah Rukh Khan's role. Their
Mhm.
roles were pretty important. I mean, I feel like the movie in general was way beyond its years
Mhm.
because it portrayed mental health issues. It portrayed mental health as something that should be talked about rather than something that should be disregarded. And it was released, I think it was released in like 2016, which was, I mean, I know mental health was not as popular in 2016, or like the talks were not as popular as it is right now, but it was
Mhm.
definitely way beyond its years. So
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
something
definitely.
to
And I
acknowledge.
think, yeah, so I think as we progress further into the future, as you said, we're gonna slowly adapt to like, more of these topics. So I think we'll have more sensitive issues addressed and, movies that, stand out and make a global impact. I think we'll find more of those as we progress into the future. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and like as we progress, is like the audience also, like the audience progresses as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
I
that,
think it's completely just based on the audience because yeah, if we progress, I mean the current generation, I mean us, if you're talking about us, we are very well exposed to a lot of these like sensitive topics. Like we understand mental health is a big problem. So
Exactly.
as we grow older,
It's with our
in our
education as well. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. When we're in our 30s and 40s, we'll definitely have more versatile, more movies that, focus on a lot of sensitive topics. Because yeah, I mean, it should be, yeah, it should just be related to, whatever we think is right. So yeah, I think we'll definitely get that in the future.
yeah. I mean, again, like it all comes back to the audience itself. I feel like Bollywood has now started to adapt to different kinds of movies rather than just cookie cutter movies. But
Yep.
definitely, yeah, it will take more time to adapt to such movies as well because it's like a completely new genre, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's already very common in Hollywood. So, like, why can't we, do something like that in Bollywood? But yeah, definitely audience is like a big thing to consider because, how are they going to get revenue if we don't even like it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. Thank you so much for listening to episode 4 of Cooked. We hope you liked it. And if you would like to hear more episodes in the future, please tell us what you would like to hear next. And yeah, bye bye. Tune in for next week's episode on Monday.
Bye bye.